Hey, everybody, it's Jackie. I am so excited tonight because we have a round table discussion. I don't often do these because it takes a lot of coordination, but we have three beautiful ladies tonight talking about Transform and what it's done for their lives. So we have Trish. She is from Ontario, Canada. We have Jen. She's from Colorado Springs, Colorado. And we have Manisha, and she's from Illinois. And they have all had tremendous results with Transform. I encourage you just to stick with me for a few minutes. I promise you this isn't going to be super long as I talk with each one of them just about what Transform has done for them. And so I am going to spotlight for just a second Trish. And Trish, I would love for you just to share with everyone your story with Transform.
Sure. So I'm a nutritionist. So when this came out and I was in Las Vegas it was LA, right?
Las Vegas.
When it was introduced, I'm going, there's just no way. I couldn't imagine what it could do. And then when I heard, like I got chills even now, what I heard it did, where it turns the glucose into fiber, I'm going, well, how on earth does it do that? So then I took the doctor's course. I sat down through the whole thing and I was like ready to go. So the best thing I found is they suggested wearing the glucose monitor. So I did that because I don't know anything about my blood sugars other than my blood pressure, but I never really thought about my blood sugars and the way the Transform works for that. So I didn't. So I put the glucose monitor on after I put it on, and then I spent 2 days without the Transform. And I was really shocked because I had major spikes in the morning, but I was dipping below 330 like at night.
Wow.
So what I discovered, and I always thought this is a good idea. What I discovered is the spikes in the morning made me really kind of crazy. So I have to eat almost immediately in the morning because I need that. I need the carbs in there to calm the blood sugars down. But when I took the Transform, within probably 5 minutes, it started to come back down again.
Wow.
And the one that scared me the most is waking up and having it below 30.
Wow.
So, but when I took the Transform, immediately my blood sugar stabled. So it was great. No wonder I was feeling kind of crappy in the morning because I thought I wake up feeling like kind of in a fog. Didn't know what it was. And you equate it to a lot of things, right? Not just my age. I mean, I'm 63 this year. So it's just like, okay, so it's probably something to do with that. But then when I discovered that it was my blood sugars, I was like blown away. Now, I did this twice. I just came off another 14-day because I was having some problems sleeping. And I do take the tea at night as well, too. But from a Transform perspective and my blood sugars dipping at night, I took a Transform at night. And then my blood sugars didn't dip and they didn't spike in the morning. So I kind of played around with it, knowing that it kind of knits all the glucose together and then puts it as fiber. And I need more fiber. Like you can always eat a bucket of broccoli, but who wants to do that, right? Nobody ever gets what they need. So what I did is I need more fiber. Like I realized I need more fiber. So the Transform with the fiber and the, get rid of this. And the fiber, and then controlling the glucose and realizing in a metabolic health kind of perspective, how important the blood sugars and your insulin is, and then understanding insulin resistance. So when I saw people going like, oh, wow, I'm losing 9 pounds and 10 pounds and whatnot, I said, what? So I got on the scale because I was starting to feel better. Like literally my clothes are feeling better. I was feeling better, more stable. My cravings had gone away. I wasn't snacking anymore. Didn't want to snack anymore, but it was really cool. I got on and I lost 14 pounds.
What?
And 14 and 4 inches off my waist.
Wow.
Like, even though you feel better, because that's what it's supposed to do, is make you feel better.
Right.
I was just happy I didn't have the bloat before. I couldn't put a spoonful of anything in my mouth without it initially causing gas and bloating and really uncomfortable. So I didn't eat properly because of that. It affected my gut so much. But then with the Enrich and the Transform together, they're like two magic little pills together. My digestion is absolutely perfect. They're Transform as when I wake up in the morning, and I took a screenshot of what happened overnight, it was literally like this.
Wow.
Now I know my blood sugars spike after I eat something that's heavy carb. That's naturally going to happen. but it didn't go way over 10 anymore. It
Yeah.
went maybe to 6.5, 7, which is pretty good. But my spikes and my dips completely disappeared. Now, this is about consistency, because I didn't see these results right away. I saw them within the second or third day of consistently taking 2 of these an hour before each meal. Now, that took a little bit of timing and planning, but you got to do that. You're going to introduce anything new to your life. You know how much you're planning and consistency and create a habit of doing it. So that's what I ended up doing. It was just the results for me from a nutritional perspective is absolutely phenomenal. I now have something that I can offer people that is going to be in that metabolic health part of your body that is super, super important. But for me personally, I'm eating everything I love to eat without the bloat and the uncomfortableness. And I just thought it was age, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was literally my blood sugars causing havoc.
Wow.
And my body reacting to food in a way that I didn't know it did. So there's certain things like white rice and things like that. They spike a little bit more. So if you're going to have a more carb heavy, I usually take 3 Transform.
Okay.
But I can eat really good and feel really good after eating. Go like, that's what I noticed the first. And then I felt better. And then when I jumped on the scale, I was absolutely shocked. Now, weight loss wasn't my intention. My intention was to learn how this whole thing worked inside my body and you got to get a glucose monitor first, because you don't know if you got blood sugar issues. You got to do that, because it's part of the understanding and the learning process that people need to know how your blood sugars affect everything, your weight, your brain, your heart health, your circulation, everything. That is a key ingredient or a key factor in how you feel overall. So for me, it was an eye opener. Even as much as I know about nutrition, it was like a complete mind blown. I'll never, ever go without it. Like, honestly, if I forget it, I wait, take it and eat my meal later, because it is that good. Whatever it is doing, it's doing it right. And I never, ever thought it could ever be done. And I don't think anybody could, but we did it. Like, I'm just so happy with how I'm feeling, how I'm looking, my energy level, how I'm thinking. And you sleep better, you eat better, everything works better. You just overall feel better. So I'm blown away. Absolutely.
I love it. That's so good. Okay. And then I want you to take another 30 seconds and I want you just to chat with everybody. I know that you have done this also as a business. You've been very successful. I want you just to chat about what this has done for you from a business perspective as well.
Sure. This is really kind of crazy, because I was looking at my retirement portfolio. I was kind of scared. I have to tell you, kind of scared, knowing that probably wouldn't take me through my retirement. So I looked at this as an opportunity for me to make some extra money. Now, when this product or this company came into my view and it matched my, what I was doing as a nutritionist, it was a no-brainer for me. But I am like, this is a piece of the puzzle that I can fit into the nutritional part of it that's absolutely making sense from an overall health perspective. Like, I didn't want to switch wheels and do something that didn't align with who I was. And this aligned really, really well. So my clients they're repeat customers all the time. I'm on social media all the time talking about it. It has changed my ability to think about my retirement in a totally different way, completely different way. So if you are of age and you're worried about your retirement, which everybody should be, this is an opportunity for you to look at that's super easy. You plug into the system, you do that, and the results just come. But if you're really passionate about the products and what they're doing for you, it's a pretty easy conversion for someone to actually try it. But I'm having a blast. And this company and this team and you guys are just so much fun. I just love it so much.
I love that. Well, Trish, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We will bring her back at the end. We really, really appreciate it. What a fabulous story.
Oh,
right. Now we are going to bring on Jen from Colorado. And Jen and I are friends, and I am so excited for you to hear her story with Transform. She's had some awesome, I won't take her thunder, but she does have 2 twin toddlers. Yes. And if they come busting in, it's fine.
They're with me. Yeah. We're good. They're in the basement, so that's good. With their older ones, so they're not by themselves. Okay. So yes, I'm Jen. We moved to Colorado from California a few years ago, and in the midst of I have 4 kids under 8, which sounds manageable, but the last 2 are twins. So twin 2.5-year-old, almost 3. For at least us, it's not for the faint of heart. they're a lot of work
Four
right now.
kids under 8 is a lot, but even if 2 of them weren't twins, I'm just saying.
Yeah. So with that, we moved here and then we got pregnant with twins right away. And things are, great, and with the other two. So for me, after having other babies, I would pretty much bounce back in the normal range of, after having children, looking, and so then after the twins, about a year, really 2 years in, for me, I couldn't lose any of the baby weight. I was beyond fatigued, more than the other. And I'm running after 2 babies. So here with the other 2, I felt like, okay, this is, normal, you're running up and down stairs, but I'm like, getting up twice to do everything. And still, the baby weight for me was something that I was always really struggling with. Really, not being able to fit in pants, just the normal pants after babies. No, I'm not looking for something crazy, going into my 20s. But so that I was bloated all the time. Not wondering, where that was coming from, as well as just extreme fatigue. So almost every afternoon I would have to take a nap. I could barely keep my eyes open. It's one thing if you're nursing babies and why you're, tired, but everybody was sleeping good. I should be sleeping good. And I was, and fairly okay. Right. And then in the sense of, wow, I'm so tired. And pretty much kind of some moodiness, right? That kind of came up in that. And then also now comes the new decade of being in my 40s. So here you're kind of chalking up things to, okay, body's changing, metabolism slower, just all that stuff, right? So here comes beautiful Trinot. And gosh, so here I start taking Transform, and I weighed myself, I took, my measurements. And those last few days before I got my product, I'd have to take pictures of my stomach, my bloat. I couldn't even button up my pants. Okay. And, but that would come too in the evening where I'm trying to make dinner, or we're going to church for an event, or, that was a very, not an opportune time to not feel good in the afternoon. Right. Mm-hmm. So I was desperate, for anything. And so here again, I start taking Transform, and I haven't needed a nap in 3 months.
Wow, that's a big deal.
And that was that was really hard to, as a mom, you're like, do I do laundry? Do I do the dishes? Do I clean up? Do I take a nap? And it's usually, you don't want to, but when you're so tired and so fatigued, you're really trying to figure that out. So here, I did not take a glucose monitor, which one point I would like to do that. But I know that was definitely something that was affecting, because I'm eating the chicken nuggets or the kids' food that I'm trying to make them during the day. So as coming from a nutritionist from Trish, I probably wasn't eating the best either. So that was definitely, affecting things. And so no nap, my energy level has just skyrocketed just to normal, like to young 20s, Wow. And that's been fantastic. And then finally, a few weeks in, like Trish had said, being consistent, and adding it with the nice little plug for Enrich, because I also was having some other difficulties, and that I know things just happen in the gut. So learning so much about metabolic health and gut health, that those two combined, I was able to, I'm not bloated anymore. As much as my husband will come home, he's like, I'm bloated. I'm like, why are you forgetting to take these things? I'm like, I feel great. So it's just been fantastic. So I can button up my pants. They're all actually getting big, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's a big deal.
I want to say I want about the 7-pound mark, but the inches have just fallen off for me. So that has been fantastic. And nothing that I would do prior to that. It was just that weight that comes from the sugar, holding on to all of that, and I'm not a big workout person. I would love to be one day. I think that will be there. So Jackie's been amazing. She's amazing at that. But in that sense, I could, if I wanted to burn fat, it was always burning the sugar, it wasn't going to the right place, of burning the appropriate stuff. So, So, and then I'm happy. In that sense. So I think that hangry, that moodiness, that comes from the blood sugar dips and spikes and all that, that has not been there. So that's been my story. So I'm a happy mama, feeling good, looking good at 41. So
good. I love that so much. And Trish and Jen said the same thing. And so I think it's worth repeating. Our Enrich really does do a great job of complementing Transform. So what Transform is, you take it 30 to 60 minutes before you eat. It takes that glucose that's coming into your stomach, it turns it into fiber and helps you process it. It helps stabilize your blood sugar. However, what Enrich does, you take it right before you eat. Sometimes I even take it like as I'm eating. And it breaks down your food so that your body can process it well. So Enrich is a great complement. If you're watching this in February and you're a current customer, we have a free Enrich deal going on right now. If you're watching it not in February, I'm sorry. But if you're a current customer, we have a great deal because we really do want you to complement it. So thank you, Jen, for sharing. That was so great. We'll see her again at the end. And then we have Manisha. She is coming to us from Chicago, or I'm sorry, not Chicago, Illinois. I'm sorry. And she has an amazing testimony as well. So Manisha, she was on one of my calls the other night and I was just so impressed with her story. Manisha, would you just share with everybody what's your experience with Transform has been?
Yes, thank you so much. So I started taking Transform in October. And the first thing I noticed was more energy and less cravings. And I started losing just inches. And I started looking at photos and I was like, wow, wait, I've only lost like 5 pounds, but the inches were like incredible. So losing 5 pounds, but looking to other people like I had lost 10 or 15 or something. It was just unbelievable. I just felt better. I noticed I didn't have the afternoon slump, and I didn't have the cravings. And I don't have a monitor. I do plan to get one. I don't have a monitor yet. But I was diagnosed with the pre-D word. And
we have to be careful what we say in public. So that's why she just said, but I'm sure that everyone knows what she's talking about.
Dysregulated blood sugar.
Great.
That's what I was diagnosed with. And so for me, as soon as I heard about this, I was like, yes, I need to try this. I need to try something that's going to help turn my sugar into fiber. And then, the holidays came and, the weight kind of crept back on and I fell off. I'll be honest, I fell off. And so in January, I recommitted. And I took Transform, I took Enrich, and I lost 13 pounds in 30 days.
Oh my goodness. That is amazing.
Totally blown away by what I could do myself with my part, which, I encourage people, do your part. If the scale isn't moving, you need to look at your diet. You need to look at, intermittent fasting, things that you can do to keep your blood sugar low as well. So Transform can take it the rest of the way.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's the biggest advice I've been sharing with people. Like I tell people all the time, imagine if you were doing a low carb or keto, imagine Transform still taking 50 to 90% of that. So that effect of Transform is like doing keto on your body because now you're taking in even less carbs than you already were. So that's basically what I was doing. I had a very low carb diet. I was intermittent fasting, took Transform and Enrich, and the pounds just melted off. Every day I got on the scale and it was like going down. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. So yeah, of course, I drink water too, drink a ton of water.
That is important. That hasn't been mentioned yet, but you do need to drink a lot of water with Transform.
You need to drink water and, and watch your bathroom habits. I mentioned that too, because, you're increasing your fiber, so watch your bathroom habits, and pull back if you need to get your body to adjust, start slow. When you're increasing fiber, you start slow because you don't want that stuff to clog up the system.
Right.
But it's been great. I feel amazing. I definitely have more energy. I went to a Super Bowl party and people were like, okay, look at you. You know,
That's awesome.
and that was amazing feeling because it's been 13 pounds, but my clothes are literally like hanging off me. Like,
Wow.
even though it's 13 pounds, it's way more in inches.
Yeah.
I haven't even measured the inches, but I'm going shopping in my closet now. It's basically, and I was like, I've never done that with 13 pounds before. Like, I was like, wait, you would think I had lost 30 pounds. Like, it's that amazing. So, very excited to keep going with it. And yeah, I definitely highly recommend using Enrich to keep you regular.
Yeah, it is. They really complement each other well.
Yep, for sure.
Awesome.
But yeah, I would say, like the other ladies mentioned, I'm a person that has struggled with my weight. You know, it's gone up and down. I've tried lots of other things. And for me, compared to other things that I've tried to just get healthier, this by far has been the best.
I love it. So good. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm going to bring on the other ladies again. And so, ladies, anybody can just jump in here. Does anybody else have anything that wasn't mentioned that they thought, oh, I should have said that, or that they wish they would have said, that they want to add?
For me, I think it was when you mentioned the water, because when you are taking in Transform and it's creating the fiber, the excess fiber, you need to actually increase your water a lot. And that also helps with your blood sugar management as well too. So as your blood sugars are spiking and you've got Transform, it's, you know, that water does help complement that and helps that. So drinking water is a natural way to actually help with your blood sugars as well. So crazy, but yeah, the inches when you talk about it, I felt so good. And I never even got on the scale. And when I did, I realized I lost 14 pounds and 4 inches. I was just like, what? I wasn't even expecting that. That was like a shock. There was a bonus at the end going like, what?
I love it.
Like that's a benefit from all of this, like a big benefit. But like Manisha said, controlling those things, do what you have to do your part, right? So put in the work and do your part. And be consistent. It doesn't have, if it's not in your system, it's not going to work. It's not something that lingers on forever. You have to have it in your system all the time.
And one thing I want to mention as well. Oh, I'm sorry, Jen.
No, that's okay. You're good.
I just thought about it as Trish was talking. I thought about it as Trish was talking. The meals too. It helps to keep your blood sugar low. One thing you can do on your own is less snacking.
Yes.
You know. And you don't necessarily have to take Transform when you're snacking either. You can take it with your biggest meals, you know, because that's what I do. I take it just with lunch and dinner. That's all I take it with. And actually breakfast, I usually fast through breakfast anyway, just to keep my blood sugars lower. So, but you don't need to snack. And I feel like with Transform, I don't know about with you ladies, I don't feel the need to snack.
I
can literally just have lunch.
Yeah.
Wait till dinner to eat, you know, and my blood sugar, I'm like I said, I don't monitor it, but I feel like it's level. Like I'm not hungry in between meals anymore. Like I don't feel like I need snacks. So therefore I just literally take Transform just twice a day. Cause I get that question a lot too. People say, well, how often do you take it? How many do you take? You know, and I think 1 to 2 is fine, you know, and 1 especially, like I have customers that have told me 1 before each meal is fine for them. 1 before 2 meals is fine. And they see great results from that. So you don't necessarily have to take 2 5 times a day, you know?
Yeah, for sure. All right, Jen, what were you going to say?
Yes, kind of to piggyback on that and then what I was going to say, but I think everybody's body is different, you know, so we're all going to, as we're taking this, figuring out where is that line? Where is that? Because if you're on borderline D, you know, or do have it, right? It's going to affect you almost, you know, maybe immediately because your body is, you know, being affected by the sugars. But in that sense, I was going to say, do you really want it? You know, some people, I do have some customers that are like, oh, I forget to take it. Do you really want to, you know, feel better? Like, or, I mean, where are you at, you know, sometimes. So in that sense, you know, like, oh, maybe it's not working or different things. It's that consistency, like you, and I love that Manisha. Why can I not think of her name? That you were so honest of kind of falling off the wagon a little bit. It's so true. It's easy because we're busy, but at the same time, you really wanted it again. You know, I love that. You were like, no, like I saw it working. I'm going to get back on. So when we do take it, you know, people, if we have our bottle, just put it somewhere where you are going to remember, because I do hear, I forget. But how healthy do you want to be? And I love that because of the metabolic, health that we're so triggering at, that everybody's suffering from that, in these ages of strokes and heart attacks, all these things that are related to that metabolic health can be beautifully in this bottle. So just had to say that.
And a lot of people I talk to are worried about the capsules, even though they're vegetable capsules. So just to remind you, you can actually open it up and put it on your food. So, or put it in a glass and take it with a little bit of water, whatever you have to do, but you don't have to swallow them. If you can't swallow, open up the capsules and do it that way. It works.
Yes.
Really.
I do that sometimes if I forget to take it 30 to 60 minutes before, because it'll immediately work if you do that. So I'll just open it up, pour it in my mouth, and just drink a bunch of water. It's a little spicy, but
A little, yeah.
Awesome. Well, ladies, thank you so much for sharing your story today. It is going to help so many people. If you at all heard anything that intrigued you today, go back to the person who invited you to watch this. I know they would love to give you more information about this. We are super excited about what it's doing for people. Thank you, ladies, again. God bless you.